In this video, we take a look at the color jitter shader. In the standard hair video, if you remember, we used this shader briefly, and in this video, we get to know it better. The scene is fairly simple. We have a bunch of cubes in a dynamic sim that is already baked, and we want to colorize these cubes using the color jitter node. So open up this standard surface shader that is already assigned to this cloner. Press Ctrl Tab and search for a color jitter node and add it to the work area. Right now, the base color of the standard surface shader is set to white. I'm gonna increase its base weight to 1 and use the color jitter as the base color. Because the input color in the color jitter is white, we get the same results. Let's use the sign color with the RGB values of 41, 248, and 255. And just to remind you, like the rest of the lessons, we are working in the ACES workflow. Now, color jitter shader allows you to apply a random color variation around a defined color, in this case, the sign color, based on object names, polygons, user data, or procedurals. So first you define a color as the color input, and then depending on what you want to add variation to, you use this gain, hue, and saturation parameters in the object, face, procedural, or user data sections. And then you can use this gain, hue, and saturation min and max values to define the range of random values to be added to the input color. In this case, we have all these cubes that are individual objects, so we can use the parameters under the object section. Let's start adding some variation to the hue of the cubes. Let's set min hue to -0.4 and max hue to 0.4. You can play around with the hue min and max until you get what you like. For now, let's set the hue min to 0 and hue max to 0.6. We can do the same thing for saturation. Maybe set the saturation min to -0.5 and max to 0.5. And we have this gain or brightness as well. For now, let's set the gain and saturation values to 0 and just randomize with the hue. And finally, you have this seed value to get a different random value distribution if you are not happy with what you get. Maybe we can set the seed to 1, 2, or any number that you can have here to get a different coloration. To make this shader nicer, let's add some subsurface scattering. I'm gonna increase the SSS weight to 0.4, radius to 0.5 centimeters, and use the same color jitter node as the subsurface scattering color. And this looks pretty cool. Let's hide the clones and unhide the cube. And let me also disable depth of field in my camera. And assign the same shader to the cube as well. As you can see in the viewport, the cube has tons of faces or polygons, and we want to use the color jitter to add color variation to each face. Now in the color jitter node, as we want to add color variation to the faces, we need to change the parameters under the face section. So let's start changing the hue, min, and max. The same set of parameters are repeated here. This mode option is specific to the face section. Face ID mode adds variation to the triangulated version of the mesh and uniform ID to the quad version. For now, hide this cube and unhide the cloner and turn on DOF again. So that's about the color jitter node in Arnold for Cinema 4D. See you in the next video.